going on, guys? My name is Brandon. Welcome to Audio Addiction, where you can find links to album reviews. You can find our band interviews, and you can find live coverage of the concerts that we get. I just posted Veil of Maya sets yesterday, so definitely go check that out. Devil Wears Prada is going up on Saturday, so definitely be on the lookout for that. Also got the Tides of Man tour. That is all going to be done really soon. I got our buddies in Moral Support and Homeseeker getting both of those done. And just a bunch of other kind of like live video I hope to have put out really soon. But I'm sorry for the lack of like album reviews this week. There really hasn't been too much going on. There's two, one being this one, and then another one that I'll be doing hopefully this weekend as well. So if you enjoyed what you heard so far, make sure to subscribe, make sure to hit that thumbs up. It really does go a long way, and thank you guys for your support. So tonight we're going to be talking about Lim's new record, Sleep.
I will not break. I'll fight this to the death. I'll take this to my grave, because there's nothing more worth fighting.
So for those of you who haven't heard of Limbs, they are a band out of Florida. They kind of combine a little bit of metalcore, hardcore, and just those sorts of elements. I actually interviewed them prior to them signing to Equal Vision, but I had to keep that secret for a super long time, and I'm so proud of these guys. Prior to me interviewing them, I had never met them. I only heard that one song. I believe it was Eyes, but basically, they signed with Equal Vision. They did this new record slash EP. I mean, I guess it's considered an EP. But they had the 3 tracks, Rat, Eyes, and Bones, on a free EP download as soon as they were announced. As soon as they kind of came up on that first tour with Idola, Hail the Sun, and Capsize. And then they signed with Equal Vision, and they have 3 new tracks off this new record that they added on. So they had 3, and they added 3 more songs onto this EP to kind of fill it out, which I'm not particularly a big fan of it, but since I didn't review the Sleep EP, I figured I'd do this one and just a full kind of thing. So I'm going to go through each track, give you a breakdown on what I think about each track. I'm going to go through some pros and cons on the record, and then I'm going to finish it out with an overall rating. So the first track off the record, and happens to be the first single that they released, is Poison. Really liking this cool drum intro. I love the music video for it as well. Sorry, I'm scratching my back. This one really kicks off the record with a bang for sure. They definitely have a song. Sound-wise, they're a mixture of like Every Time I Die, Beartooth, a little bit Chariot, especially in this song in particular. And I like that Chris mixes in a bit of cleans with his song choice in this one. I really feel like it is accented very well in the chorus, and it offers a cool kind of melodicness to the chorus, and offers a nice balance to the track as well, because he also does the screams too. So that's really cool, and I like that juxtaposition between the two. I think it offers just an interesting concept. I know it's a lot of bands have done it before them and probably will do, but I feel like the combination that Chris has and just what he does is really great. The last breakdown definitely hits with some great intensity, and I feel like this one was a great opener. If you haven't heard of this band, which I would say a lot of you haven't, this is a great sort of opener track, and just, a first track for everybody to get into. So we're going to move into track number 2, which is Rat. Really loving just the pounding drums in this track, and I feel like it really reflects well and is something that stands out to me in this one. Chris's vocals definitely remind me a lot of Spencer's vocals from Underoath. In particular, I like how he kind of rides the line between cleans and just kind of gritty, kind of almost borderline scream in terms of vocals. This track definitely has, much like Poison, brings that energy into the fold as well, and it has some great dissonance and just gnarliness to it. It's one of those, I feel like this EP is one of those EPs where it's just relentless. You're just gonna get pounded, much like bands like the Chariot, Every Time I Die. They just have that sort of, I wouldn't even say wall of sound, because that wouldn't be doing them a justice, but it just has this sort of fullness and just powerfulness that hits you every single time and every track that it goes through. as well as I like the part between the 2 minutes and 6 second marks to the 2 minutes and 30 second mark. I like the back and forth vocally. I feel like that was really cool. And I would have loved to hear it a lot more. I know that live, I feel like they hold a different sort of style and flavor to them as opposed to, studio. I feel like they're one of those bands that I would love, that I've obviously seen live and that I would prefer over seeing live than listening to their album. Not to discount the record in any way, but I feel like they're one of those bands that you just need to see live as opposed to just listening to it. They just put on a great show, very reminiscent to bands like Let Live. Just they play with such intensity and just energy. I feel like I would be doing them a huge disservice if I didn't talk about it. And so that's one of my biggest things for you to go check out this record so that they can tour, so that you can see them, because they are definitely one of those bands that have that just infectious energy to them. Getting back to Rat, I love the cool little guitar solo. I don't know if it's from Tyler or somebody else in the band that did it, but I feel like it adds this really cool breakup to the track and just finishes off nicely. So we're going to move it into track number 3, which is Eyes. This one was the first track that I ever listened to Limbs from. And I made a post on Facebook about it, and I said, this track definitely reminds me of Beartooth a lot, but just heavier and more aggressive and more in your face. Also, that was no pun intended, but it was a pun nonetheless. But it just hits with such great intensity. There are some bits where it almost sounds like Underoath's Disambiguation as well. It has that sort of dark dissonance to it, which I like. And then again, keeping with the high energy feels, this one is another one that just keeps on going and is just pound after pound after pound. The riffs in this track are definitely some of my favorite off the record. Probably my favorite riff track off the record, without a doubt. I like the bits of harmonization in the chorus as well. I feel like it adds a nice little flavor and a nice little texture to the track that was otherwise, I feel like it would have been missing something if it didn't have that. So I like that they added that in there. And I also like that Chris kind of borderlines that scream sing kind of the sort of combo. I feel like that works really well. And between the 3 minutes and 17 second marks to the 3 minutes and 22 second mark, Dan, I don't know what you were thinking, but that drum kind of fill stuff was absolutely bonkers. It was definitely underrated the first time I listened to it, and I'm glad I got to listen to it again and really kind of take it in, because it just blew me away. This is definitely one of the best tracks off the record, period, without a doubt. So we're gonna move into track number 4, which is Bones. I like again, I keep saying this a lot about Chris's voice, but I feel like it's something to know. It just has a uniqueness to it. It's just that how he can kind of ride that fine line between screaming and singing. There are very few, I would say, vocalists in the scene that can do that well, and I would definitely put him in the category of bands that do it well. Really like that. There's a really cool hard riff at around the 1 minute and 10 second mark to the 1 minute and 25 second mark, and this one's just a fast paced, in your face sort of track. It just starts off vicious and doesn't stop, much like the tracks that preceded it. Just hits with that sort of energy to it. And just the last part of the track is where it gets really intense, and just the intensity builds, and you can definitely hear that punk hardcore influence to their music for sure. So we're gonna move it into track number 5, which is Ruin. This one is I would say the only track that they did not quote unquote release. It's a brand new track. Poison was another one, and Sleep is a new one as well. But getting back to Ruin, really loving that relentless intro. This one just again with the pounding, much like Every Time I Die and The Chariot, they have that sort of that commandingness to it. I know that's not a word, but they just command the tracks off this record, and this one is definitely one of them. And I just like the sporadicness of it. I feel like it just adds this sort of great intensity to it as well. I feel like the drums definitely stick out in particular to this track. They just have this great punch to it, and when you're listening to this track, it just pulls itself forward, and you can definitely hear just the great drumming from Dan. I feel like it's underrated and I really like it a lot. Chris definitely returns with some cleans in this one. I feel like more so than in Poison, I feel like he gets a little bit more time to show off his clean range, which I do really like, and I like how it pairs very well with his screaming tonality. I like that this song has a bit of a different sound to it. It's definitely different than the rest. I like that they experimented on this one. It feels a bit out of place, but I do like it for that reason alone because I feel like with this track or this album in general, it can get really tiring to listen to kind of a really fast paced track, in your face track. This one is still in your face, but I feel like it goes about it in a different way, and that's what makes it unique to me. There's a lot more cleans, they incorporated a lot more different sounds, and I would say that this one is definitely the black sheep of the record. Kind of goes off the beaten path a little bit. I think it still stays within the confines of what Limbs sounds like. However, it definitely takes a little bit of a different turn tonality wise. So we're gonna move into the last track, track number 6, which is Sleep. This one is the most recent single. It was released actually last week, I believe. This one also has a strong sort of disambiguation vibe to it as well. I love how all of their songs have that just intensity and in your face sort of punch to them. And I feel like with each track they have raise the bar for intensity, and I feel like they ended it off with probably one of the more intense songs. I would say Bones is probably the most in your face intense track, but really close. I also feel like the track definitely remained true to form as well, taking influences from tracks that you know perceived it. I don't know if that's the right word. Tracks that went before it, like Poison, Rat, Eyes, definitely those sorts of tracks. And this one also has a bit of a more dissonant feel to it as well than the previous tracks. And it just culminates what Limbs' sound is like. I've been really missing a band like this in my life, and I really am stoked that they filled this slot. I know that Jason Butler is doing the Fever, and I'm excited for that record whenever that comes out. But for the time being, I feel like this band is definitely holding me over for that just that band that you want, and then it just smacks you in the face. I feel like they are definitely up there. And at the 2 minutes and 28-second mark to the 3 minutes and 8-second mark, I feel like this track really resonates emotionally to me. It just strikes an emotional chord, and I just like how they went about it in this one, especially in the bridge. They went to kind of like a almost melodic hardcore way, very spoken word, clean guitar. They just changed it up, and I appreciate that. And the bridge almost has hints of a little bit of Silent Planet, which I love. I love Silent Planet, so that was definitely right up my alley as well. And I feel like it was a great closer track. It really adds a really big period to this EP/record, and just finished off with some really great energy that I feel like will carry you on into the next track, Poison, and start the whole process all over again. So some pros and cons, some con or big con that for me, just as a listener, previous to them signing to Equal Vision, I feel like they're doing me a huge disservice by putting the 3 tracks onto here. I get the point. I'm not trying to hate on it at all. I get why they did it. They wanted to bring those tracks to light, as well as having 3 new tracks to kind of appease old fans. And I appreciate that notion a lot. I'm not going to discredit them at all for doing that or bringing it up. It was just something, just a personal con that I wasn't really kind of feeling about it. Otherwise, I would say it's a damn near flawless record in my opinion. It just hits with this intensity, much like bands that I've been mentioning a lot. Every Time I Die, The Chariot, Let Live, even Beartooth. It really strikes a chord with me, and is one of those bands that I feel like is an up and coming band. If you missed out on them with Idola, that whole Hail the Sun Capsize tour, I'm almost positive they'll be doing a lot more touring in 2018, which I'm really excited for. So if you want to help them out and you want to get them to tour your city, definitely go pick this up. First week sales mean a lot to bands, and I'm glad that this band I'm repping this band. I love these guys. I'm so appreciative of the interview that we did together. But I'm also appreciative of this album, and I pre-ordered it, and I'm excited to get it and add it to my CD collection that is ever growing. So my overall rating for Limbs Sleep, I'm gonna be giving it a 9.7 out of 10. I definitely feel like if you like the bands that I've been talking about, Every Time I Die, Beartooth, Chariot, Underoath, Let Live, I am 100% sure you will love this band as well. Completely underrated Florida bands. I know there's a lot of Florida bands that are underrated, but this one is definitely on that radar of underrated bands. I definitely feel like you should check out Sleep if you missed out on it the first time. Give this one a listen. I really feel like you will enjoy it. If you don't, let me know in the comments what you thought about it. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree? I just feel like this band is definitely one of those bands to look out for in 2018, and I'm excited for their future. And I'm excited to get my album in the mail if Merch Now does not take forever to get it to me. So let me know in the comments if you heard of this band before. Did you check out the EP like myself prior and then pick this one up? Just give me your thoughts on it. I'm really curious to see what people think about this EP slash record. And I know I'm excited to see a full length, hopefully soon, from these guys. So if you enjoyed this review, make sure to subscribe. Make sure to hit this thumbs up. We are also running a Halloween sale. I don't like to pitch the merch store too much, but I feel like since YouTube's been really odd as of recently, I figure I'd point it out to you guys that we have some merch. If you'd love to support what I do and you like these album reviews, definitely pick something up. It would mean the absolute world to me. And I can't thank you guys for your support, even with the whole Veil of Maya thing. I'm really appreciative of that, and thank you guys just for the support over this entire year. I'm excited. Sorry, I have something in my throat. I'm excited for the next year, and I'm excited to continue doing this. I really enjoy doing it, and I'm excited to do the wrap up year stuff and stuff like that. So sorry for rambling. My name is Brandon. We hope you got your fix, and we'll be talking with you soon, guys. Peace. Hey guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Of course, if you enjoy what we do, make sure to go check out the other series we do. We do album reviews, we do band interviews, and we do live videos, so definitely go check that out. Hit that subscribe button. It really helps out our channel, helps us grow. Make sure to hit that like button as well. Go follow us on social media. That's all down below. We try to keep that as updated as possible. We also made a new website where we'll be posting photos of upcoming concerts and stuff like that, which you can go check out at audioaddictionmedia.com and come get your fix with us, guys. Talk to you later. Deuces.